Okay, so nobody's getting the truth from the mainstream media, folks. It's well past time to open your eyes, your ears, and your mind. Do your own research because something isn't right here. And if you can't see that, you are not paying attention, folks.
It's the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order. A world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations.
So let's look at each one of these and see how we can get this down to zero. Probably one of these numbers is going to have to get pretty near to zero. Now that's back from high school algebra, but let's take a look. First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
The important message that we need Australians to get vaccinated as quickly as possible. In line with that, I do encourage all Australians to please go and book your vaccinations as soon as you can if you haven't already done so.
Emma, get away!
When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
Okay, we need to stand up against this tyranny, folks. Stop giving away your freedoms and liberties, because the more you give up, the more these people will take until you have absolutely nothing left. That's their agenda. All right, good evening, folks. Ready to go? Been sitting in the studio too long. Haven't even got my diary out. We've been sitting here doing other stuff. But how are yous all for a Thursday? Lest we forget, guys, Anzac Day. I haven't checked up to see what all the celebrations and how big it was out there, but hopefully it was there was a few people out and about and doing the right thing. So, guys, just more stuff they're trying to take off us, and more reason we need to stand up. But as we said, we're lifting it up a bit here, guys. We're find out where I am here. Yeah, we're just picking the vibe up, because these guys, like, you know, Kaz has put a bit of work in today to actually structure a bit of a show, guys, for a change. Usually it's pretty still we ad lib, but yeah, it's we've got a little bit of a process tonight, and excuse me, that is, we're just going to take the piss out of them, because that's all that's worth doing, guys. All right, we got Albie over there tripping over, you know. If this is not the Alliance playing their hand, guys, I don't know what is. All right, this is just getting absolutely ridiculous. Okay, so just remember, you know, like this little thing here, you probably, I don't know if you'll be able to see, but see that, guys? That's the music curve in 432. See where the C is there? That's why they call it middle C. All right, and then if you find another C on there, you'll find that there's another one, and it's going to be at 90 degrees. It's in there. All right. And then there's another one going at 90 degrees, all the C's. Right. But that's your 432. All right. These are the frequencies we want to get back to vibing in, guys. All right. That we aren't in at the moment. Some of us are. Some of us might be. The majority of us, you know what I mean? That's where we're trying to get to. All right. But that's a insane looking, and that's the colors and the frequencies and the colors that go with the frequencies, guys. All right, so it's worth looking into. Okay, it really is, because we're in that stage now where it's on. So yeah, a couple little facts, and then we're going to get into the show, guys. I haven't got much of a rant in. Anyway, this just, you know, Russia and USA. Do you know how close they are as countries? Has anyone got an idea? Like, you know, supposedly at war with each other, and you know, like we're watching this movie go on, guys, but you know how close these two continents are to each other, right? For those who think that Russia's all the way on the other side of the world, this is from the Americans talking, all right? It's approximately 55 miles from us at the Bering Strait's narrowest point. However, in the body of water between Alaska and Russia, known as the Bering Strait, there lies two small islands known as Big Diamond and Little Diamende. Interesting enough, Big Diamende is owned by Russia and Little Diamende is owned by the US. The stretch of water between these two islands is only about 2.5 miles wide and actually freezes over during the winter. So you could technically walk from the US to Russia on this seasonal sea ice. What I'm saying there, guys, is we're all united. You know what I mean? They're trying to divide us. They tell you that Russia's miles from the USA. Well, you know, there's a perfect, example, of what they like to tell us, but what's really real, you know what I mean? And what they like to portray. So we've got, some funny things going on over in the US. Both Abbott Labs, right, and Fermi Labs in the Chicago area. If anyone's got people over in Chicago area, we check this up, but it's coming from a pretty good source. Have tons of job openings, especially Abbott Labs. Abbott has pages of job openings. It didn't come out that they were both complicit by the production of bioweapons. Did many people have to go bye-bye? So, yeah, or what are they ramping up? A few ways to look into that. I don't know. We know they're ramping something up, guys. Kamala Harris, probably one of her Secret Service agents. Well, I don't even think she's got any. So I think that's a load of crap anyway, because I think the only person, why is, things like, if they're so hot on Trump, and we weren't watching a movie and like waking up the world, guys, with a Great Awakening, how come they've never been near his plane? No one's ever gone near his plane. How come they haven't searched his plane or got anywhere near his plane? I wonder if that's his plane, if that's him. It's a wild movie, guys. So let's get into a look at the movie in Australia, because I really believe that we are, and Kaz is, I think, of the same opinion. We're going to have a bit of a chuckle tonight, guys, all right? And, we're going to have a laugh at these guys. Right, I believe Albo's being played. The memes are just incredible. Kaz, come in, mate. Let's get into it, because what's going on out there is just absolutely sensational, isn't it?
It is. But first of all, let's take a look at the Anzac Day and honour those.
Yeah, firstly, sorry.
We will remember them. Yeah, no, that's all right. Let's go. All right, so let's start with the Light Horsemen. Okay, so their horses were known as whalers, and because they were sturdy, hardy horses, and they were able to travel long distances in hot weather with little water. Can I just get you to remove that "we blame you"? So because I'm reading off the screen here.
Yeah.
For the time being, yeah. Now, so horses usually need to drink about 30 litres of water a day. However, up to 60 hours without water while carrying a load of almost 130 kilograms, comprising rider, saddle, equipment, food, and water.
130 kilos. So don't go out and grab, what's that? Let's just say 6 bags of cement, guys. 6 bags of cement. See if you can get someone to pile 3 on each shoulder. That'd be close enough, and see how many footsteps you can take.
Okay. Now, what actually happened here in the Battle of Beersheba is there were 10,000 British troops and tanks. They had failed. They'd been dug in for weeks, and they'd been trying to take the Turks. Now, the Turks are actually fierce fighters, and they were well dug in. So one of the Australians, I think it might have been Grant, went up and said, "Why don't you give our boys a go?"
Yeah.
And so 800 of our boys jumped on the backs of their horses and charged under fire to take Beersheba in Jerusalem and then Jerusalem. Okay.
This is your ancestors, folks. This is your ancestors. Right. This is what you have in you.
That's right. So, but what actually happened was the horses bolted so fast that they came in under the fire. So in those days, you had to lower your scope, and the Turks couldn't lower their scopes fast enough because the horses were bolting. Okay, one of our boys, he wrote home to his sister and he goes, "Sis, they're calling us heroes. I don't know too much about that. My horse hadn't had water for 3 days. When we came over that hill, he got a whiff of the water and bolted. It was all I could do to hang on to him."
Typical Aussie attitude, eh?
Yeah, typical Aussie attitude. But it gets even better because then they had to hide in Jerusalem after they took it for 3 days and wait for Lawrence of Arabia to arrive to claim victory. And they did. They allowed him to claim victory. He wasn't even anywhere near it. But anyway, that's what the British needed, so that's what they did.
Yep, that's what us do. We do.
That's right. We just get the job done. In Gallipoli, they landed under heavy fire. And it's also worth noting that in Gallipoli, over 1,000 Aboriginals and Torres Strait Islanders fought alongside of them, and many of them for meritorious service, incredible bravery and medals.
Yeah, and smarts.
That's right. And when it came time to exit, it was 2 Australians who came up with the idea of using a water canister on the gun to fire throughout the night so that the guns would go off intermittently as they stole away. Now, this is Erwin Rommel, and he said, if I had to take hell, I would use the Australians to take it and the New Zealanders to hold it. He describes one action of the Aussies, referring to them as demons, because their lines were broken, okay? And they should have been retreating, and any other army would have, but instead the Australians were running through the Nazis straight past the tanks, and they got through. So that was actually Montgomery's strategy. He said, boys, don't worry about the tanks, go straight for the infantry. So in World War II, what they did was the tanks led off and gave cover to the infantry. He goes, boys, don't you worry about them tanks. So they charged straight at the tanks, ran straight past them and took on the infantry. And that's Rommel's statement. Okay, so now there was a massive battle for the Kokoda, and it was a bloody battle, and they were up against a mighty superior force, and they still won. In the Battle of Long Tan, for 3.5 hours in the mud and shattered trees of a rubber plantation called Long Tan, 105 young Australians and 3 New Zealanders fought and defeated 2,500 Viet Cong and North Vietnamese soldiers in an epic battle. 18 Australians were killed and 21 wounded, with more than 500 VC and NVA killed, with more than 1,000 wounded. Now, these are some of the stories, okay? These are told by allies of us and also from our enemies, which is really interesting.
Before we get into that one, guys, I've got some clips coming on the Brumbies, and I totally agree with that. The Brumbies were the things that were used over there, and there's a lot going down there in the snow, okay? And it is wrong. All right, we know that, we've got to have certain, restrictions, but what's going on down there is absolutely friggin' wicked. All right. And we will look at that, guys. I do have some clips coming. But the Brumbies were also, the horse of the time. All right. They couldn't beat them. The Australian Brumby. They were incredible. Carry on, guys.
All right. Now, this is a story from Tobruk by an English officer lieutenant. Was approached a group of shirtless Australians digging in Tobruk. Okay, and berating the Australians for not saluting an officer and saying they were undisciplined rebel. The Australians ignored him, all except for one who started putting on his shirt, revealing that he was a captain. He ordered the English lieutenant to salute and then to piss off.
My granddad was a rat at Tobruk, people. This is where he was. He was a rat.
Okay. This is another story. My dad landed in England with his Canadian Dragoon Regiment and were held on the docks for inspection along with the newly arrived Australian group. After a long wait in ranks for a VIP, the Australian officer dismissed his troops by saying, right, we're off to the pub. Send your runner when the muckety muck arrives. My dad always admired them for their toughness and their irreverence for authority. Another story. After the majority of Australian troops had been evacuated from the Tobruk siege, a German officer captured in an offensive asked why the company of Australians who captured him were dressed in Australian uniforms. He said, all the Australians have left, that's why we attacked. The Aussies insisted, no, that there was in fact some Australian troops left. The German officer replied, no, you are British. You only dress like Australians to frighten us.
That's cool. We're legends, guys. We got this war, all right. We are legends. Let's get this. Yeah.
All right. My grandfather immigrated to Australia from Scotland before the war. He fought in Tobruk and told me of a couple of amazing stories, one of which was about the night some Aussies dismantled the entire steam locomotive and buried it in the sand. He may have told me why, but I was just a kid then, and the explanation is lost in time. Another story was how the Aussies he was with found a piano in a bombed house and carried it back to the trench and played during a bombardment. He was very proud to have served the Australian Army. That's exactly what an Australian would do. Like, that's what Aussies do.
Gold. Yeah.
I know. My father, who was English, fought with the Australians in the first siege of Tobruk and El Alamein. We migrated to Australia because my father wanted to see what it was about. Australia that created men he fought alongside. One day he said to me that if you ever hear stories about boys pulling the pin out of a grenade and throwing it to each other and then out the slot in the pillar box just before it went off, it was true. So that for fun, they would pull the pin, throw it to each other, and see if they could catch it in time and put the pin back.
Put the pin back.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So when
Granddad
I was
said they have one. Granddad said they have one come into the middle of the tent, or it might have been Jocks. My one of my good mates, his dad was with my granddad over there, and Jock's got a diary of the days over there, Kaz. It's insane, from Tobruk, you know, what happened that day. And every Anzac Day we'd read a page of it, you know what I mean, after the dawn service before the march. And yeah, incredible, man. I gotta get some copies of that off him. But yeah, incredible, the stories. But a grenade come in, you know what I mean? And to come in, and apparently it was I don't know, it was marked or something that they knew, you know, it was one that had been dummy loaded, USA. So, you know, where they were actually, you know, grenades were going to both sides of the war, guys, remember? Same people funded the war, okay? So, yeah, things were going on. But, yeah, very, very funny stories come out of it. And these guys were heroes, man. Listen to what we're hearing here. You know, this is how we're looked at around the world, guys. We're looking at America to stand up, all right? And I'm telling you, guys, they love us. All right. They love us Aussies. I'm telling you, all right. We are getting a real big show around the world internationally, guys. It's insane. And this is why. Because this is the type of people we are. And this is what they try to take off us. And this is what we're going to get back. And we've got it back already.
We got it back.
Yeah.
All right. So there's this story too. When I was a soldier for the Australian Army in the 90s, we were told a story of a German soldier who said that during a night engagement, he had been bayoneted by an Australian soldier. And later that night, the Aussies returned, and he thought that that they were there to finish him off. But to his surprise, the Aussies provided him first aid and took him their prisoner.
Yeah.
My grandfather was in the 6th Division. He told me a story about when they were up against the Italians. Smithy was found to be AWOL again and was going to be in deep trouble when he got back to his unit. After a few hours, a dust cloud could be seen approaching HQ headquarters. The dust cloud got bigger and bigger. What the fuck? It turned out that over 600 Italians had surrendered to Smithy. Smithy was struck with a war and being carried by his prisoners. He was awarded a medal instead of being put on a charge.
That's because they knew what they were up against, guys. You know, he probably give them the story. Listen, there's 1,000 guys over there, and I'm going to take you guys with me. You know, they probably went, "Can we surrender?" You know what I mean? Because guys, the war was mad. You know what I mean? So that's gold. That is absolutely gold. Go Smitty. Yeah, there's an Australian hero that we should. Anyway, we'll get to that in the next part of the show, guys. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, that's it. All right. I recall in the 80s reading a subscribed German book club book. It had something to do with Rommel's son releasing his memoirs of his father. Read the Australian quote. At some stage when Rommel had been recalled to Berlin by Hitler in a private audience, Hitler reportedly queried Rommel on the issues he was facing with those troublesome colonials. And Rommel replied, "Give me 5 Australian divisions and we would conquer the planet." Hitler was supposed to have just shrugged his shoulders. End of subject. I was amazed at this seeming acceptance of Rommel's retort.
Hey, guys, we had a lot of trouble too here. Mel's getting fact-checked as you were sharing things out, the stuff out places. So hit the share button now, will you guys? Get it out everywhere for us and just help us out. Okay, thanks.
All right, so here are some quotes from some Australian leadership. Now, this is at the Battle of Thermopylae on the 23rd of April, 1941, and it's by Brigadier George Vasey, and he says, "Here you bloody well are, and here you will bloody well stay. And if any bloody German gets between your post and the next, turn your bloody Bren around and shoot him up the arse." Now, this is by Major General Freddie de Geigend, and he says, "My God, I wish we had the 9th Australian Division with us that morning." And he was talking about the D-Day landings. This is by Field Marshal Sir William Slim. He said Australian troops at Milne Bay inflicted on the Japanese their first undoubted defeat on land. Some of us may forget that. All of the Allies, it was the Australians who first broke the invincibility of the Japanese army.
We are legends. We are legends, guys.
That's right. Lieutenant General Sir Adrian Carton de Wiart, he said, for dashing gallantry and the bloodthirsty Scots, Australians and Canadians lead the way, with the impetuous Irish close behind. The Australians, to my mind, were the most aggressive and managed to keep their form in spite of their questionable discipline. Out of the line, they were undoubtedly difficult to handle, but once in it, they loved to fight. They were a curious mixture of toughness and sentimentality.
Exactly right,
Now,
guys. Exactly.
General Bernard Montgomery, he said, I do not know of any Allied division that could have done that on the fighting by the 9th Division and the results that they achieved at El Alamein. So we will remember them.
We'll remember them, all right. They were absolute. So, guys, look at that. Look how we're held in world esteem. This is why the Aussie crew on Twitter is probably held, because these guys know, you know what I mean? They know the stories. I told you, I was in the Philippines, mate, and I got treated like an absolute legend. Why? Because I ran into some guys who obviously now I was over there when Marcos was having a shoe brigade. So obviously now I know who these guys were, and they were CIA or FBI or whatever. But I mean, these guys had armored cars over there, right? This is in 91, guys, armored cars. They got AK-47s clipped in behind the seat. All right. And this is in the times of Marcos, And, I didn't really, I was a bit naive, you know what I mean? I was just sailing around the world, having a good time, met these guys in the Fire Club down in Roas Boulevard, and they heard me talk, and they're going, hey, Aussie, come here, man, you guys in the war, man, because these guys were ex-Vietnam guys working for the, I presume, CIA, FBI, because it was around that time with the Marcos bullshit. So, yeah, it's incredible how it rubs off, guys. So what I'm saying to you is we got a lot to stand up to, and I know you guys are ready for it, and I know you've all got the character to do it, but this is what we are, what Kaz has shown. What a brilliant show you put together here, Kaz. It's unbelievable, mate. Right, but this is who we are, guys. There's more.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see who we are.
Okay, now, in comparison, let's have a look at this current clown show. Now, I do have to give credit to Australians versus the Agenda. We've got this clown number one, who I don't want the government to impinge on freedom of speech, but as a society, we've got to live up to the privilege. No, it's actually a right. It's a right that we fought and died for. And as you have just seen, Australians have never tolerated any kind of rubbish such as this. Now, you even got the health minister weighing into it, or former Victorian health minister. Australia must do more to address health misinformation before it becomes harder to identify and call out. You've got Sarah's internet dictatorship, and the community has had enough. No, actually, the community has had enough of you very clearly, and that is why you want to silence the free speech. Now, you've also got this clown, Peter Dutton, and he says, I think there's a partisan position on this, and if the current laws are inadequate or need to be strengthened or added, we would support any effort from the Labor government. Yeah, okay, of course you are, because we've said for a long time it's two wings, same bird, and you have just proven it. And of course, we've got Chief Clown. The government is willing to do whatever is necessary to take on this arrogant billionaire who thinks he's above the law. So anyway, we'll leave it there. We'll just go through it. There's misinformation being communicated across social media. Of course, we've got Jackie Lambie. Elon Musk has no social conscience whatsoever. So she actually thinks that he should be jailed. This e-safety commissioner, she says that she wants to minimise the amount of content Australians can see.
And the world, hang on, the world. This is what I've been on Spaces today. The world. This is what the Yanks and that are going off about. Who is she to tell us what we can listen to? Like, are you guys off your chops over there or what? That's what I said. Watch the show tonight. We are.
Another one.
Well, they are.
Yep, Chris Minns has weighed in on it. Of course, he's there. Oh, this is exactly what he would disregard for the information that is pumped into a community. And of course, you've got Plevasek, and she says that, Elon Musk doesn't dictate to the Australian government. So, look, these are the
whole
Muppets
bunch of
that
Muppets.
think that they're going to tell us what we, the Australian people, what to do when defiance and irreverence are actually our superpower. So, of course,
go.
yeah.
Go on.
No, well, actually, it's just that they haven't actually picked a fight with Elon. They've picked a fight with we, the Australian people. So what's actually happened is X is now the #1 downloaded app. And then the memes have gone absolutely insane. So you know how we won a bloody battle in Kokoda? Well, this is our current leadership on Kokoda.
Look at this clown. Look at it. He's not even carrying a pack. Look at him. His tits are floppy. Help me out here.
And then you've got this one.
Thinks he's above the Australian law, that he's above common decency. And I tell you what, I say to Elon Musk, that he is so out of touch.
So the memes just kept on coming.
Platforms have a responsibility to make sure that misinformation isn't got out there. I noticed today, for example, on...
Anyway, the memes have just kept rolling in. So the Ministry of Truth, because Albo doesn't like memes, so they're mean to him. So I'm going oh dear. And you got this one, weak men create hard times. Well, that's the truth. That face you make when Elon makes you look like a Karen. Lack of action, man. Sergeant Schultz. Kim Jong-un. Look, and even Pauline Hanson has weighed in on this one with this meme. It's very funny.
Hey guys, check out this dank meme I just put up on Threads. I don't get it. You've heard the rumour, haven't you?
Yeah, Albo going to the Thai massage parlour and getting the old full service.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Consider it shared.
What's everyone laughing at?
Nothing.
You're laughing that I took a dive on the news poll results, aren't you? But let me just say that Albanese ain't finished yet. The best is yet to come.
Oh, I'm sure.
You making fun of me, Dutton? Don't you rub me the wrong way.
Yeah, don't do that, Pete. Leave it to the professionals.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you, Bob. I've always loved your work.
I guess you could say you've loved it long time.
What is so funny?
Albo, you've gone viral on Threads. You're a laughingstock. Take a look.
Why are we allowing people to post whatever they want? We need to make this illegal.
We can't.
Penny, please. I'm the Prime Minister of Australia, the most powerful man in the world.
We can't impinge on their freedom of speech. It's a constitutional issue.
The cursed Constitution! If we can't take away free speech, we're just going to have to heavily regulate it.
There might be one way. This. Even though we can't regulate speech, what we can do is force social media companies to regulate speech for us.
Oh, that's very sneaky. I like it. So what do we have to do to get these memes removed?
We just have to label anything we don't like as misinformation. Which should be easy because you going to a Thai massage parlour is obviously untrue. Right?
Yeah, no, of course it's untrue. Yeah, completely untrue, Penny. Come on, shut it all down. From now on, it's Albo-approved memes only.
Reports from all over the country are coming in as Supreme Prime Minister Anthony Albanese clamps down on what memes can and cannot be posted. Thousands of Australian men and women are being sent to Facebook jail for non-compliance. Meanwhile, the newly established Ministry of Memes is asking all Australians to please like and share the latest government-approved memes.
That's a good one. Good job. Well done, Albo. Albo? Albo!
He's wired in.
Sorry?
He's wired in.
Is he?
Yes.
How about now? You still wired in? CEO of Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg? You're dictating what's allowed on my platform. Yes, I am. And now only the memes that I approve of can be posted. And if I see anything I don't like, I'll fine you $8 billion. Not without a fight! If you want to censor free speech, change the Constitution and do it yourself! CEO of Twitter, Elon Musk.
Free speech is important. And, pretty cool.
The CEO of TikTok, Xi Jinping.
I'm the only dictator around here.
I just wanted people to stop saying mean things about me on the internet. Is that so much to ask?
People say things we don't like all the time. Some people say that my father owned an emerald mine.
They say I'm a robot lizard alien.
And they say that COVID was rigged out of a rabbit in Wuhan. Crazy.
You guys are right. I can't just go around labelling things I don't like as misinformation. You know what? I'm going to stop trying to create an Orwellian dictatorship. Come on, Albo, you look pretty beat up. Let's get you a nice Thai massage. Mark! I thought you'd never ask.
Oh dear. So
Well,
that's from this this one here. All right. Now, this is the situation that we're facing. Like, you've got a situation where you've got a whole heap of, they've just basically dumped my studio. Good on them. All right. So you've got a whole heap of, this is the cost of help in the last 21 months, okay? The cost of health is up 9%. Cost of food is up 10%. The cost of education, 11%. The cost of housing, up 12%. Cost of public transport, up 13%. Cost of electricity, 18%. Cost of gas, 25%. And cost of insurance. This is why they want to get rid of, want to be able to control the socials. So anyway.
Yep, we can't get this stuff around. That's exactly right, guys. We're getting more information. They would love to be able to get information out as good and as well and as quick as we can, but they can't because all theirs is lies and bullshit, Anyway.
That's it. All right, now it's not just us. Also, Trump's weighed into this. This is hilarious. Okay, this was truthed by Trump today. He goes, wow, former AG Bill Barr, who let a lot of great people down by not investigating voter fraud in our country, has just endorsed me for president, despite the fact that I called him weak, slow-moving, lethargic, gutless, and lazy. New York Post. Based on the fact that I greatly appreciate his wholehearted endorsement, I am removing the word lethargic from my statement. Thank you, Bill. 2024.
It's on, man. It's gold. There's stuff going on everywhere over in the States, man. It's just crazy. Every state, New York's just going off its chops, but yeah, funny to listen to.
It is. Look, here's the thing is that, everything, when we look back on who we are and that sort of stuff, and you actually look at the stuff, at the stuff that we have put up with over the last couple of years, and
Yep.
I'll just actually play a little bit of a couple of them.
Yeah, go for it. Reminder, guys.
Fucking no more. Fuck you, Daniel Andrews, you rat.
We'll leave it there, but it's just but the whole thing is that like the violence was fine for them when they were trying to terrorize us, and they have terrorized us for the last couple of years. And now suddenly that Australians are having a conversation about this, and the movement is swinging against them. Suddenly they will need to actually silence us. You will be silenced.
And we're not violent at all, guys. We have no violence in us. All we want to do is, piss them off out of our life. It's pretty simple. It's like that idiot Luke McKee on Twitter. Just get out of our lives, Luke. That's all you got to do. Go and find a new one, mate. It's not hard. And this is what we want the government to do. Just get out of our life. We don't need you. All you're doing is killing us. And if you want to take me on that, you want to take me on that, come debate it. Because I reckon I got all the facts, all the evidence to prove everything that you are saying is wrong. So again, one of you politicians, please come on the show and have a chat with Guru and Kaz. Come on.
Well, look, here's the thing is that Australians are very slow to anger, but they've also got a unique thing where their defiance. Their defiance is absolutely, as a superpower is defiance and irreverence. Okay, now remember in Melbourne when it was locked down, and they weren't allowed to go anywhere. So what did Australians do? They held a dance party on the steps of Parliament House. So that's who Australians are. Now you've got to remember also that we are probably we're a unique nation. We created Vegemite, we created the electric drill, we created the refrigerator, the Hills hoist, shearing clippers, Google Maps, and we created the goon, and that's really important because
the goon.
the goon is very important. So yeah. Okay, and all right, like I really wanted to actually look at our convict routes as well, and somebody has found a really good way of justifying, this, and I think it's very funny actually. So let's have a look at it.
It's your obligation to steal from Woolworths and Coles if you're an Australian. Now imagine this: imagine you wanted to selectively breed people for petty theft, literally stealing food items. So you take everyone that steals bread and other food items. You put them on an isolated continent and allow them to breed with each other for 250 years. Then you put self-service checkouts with the only thing stopping you from stealing is your own honesty. And then you have a cost of living crisis where you boost the price of food so it's out of reach of most people. And then you expect them not to steal. As far as I'm concerned, there's a genetic basis for petty theft right now.
It's in your DNA.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. What else is in our DNA, guys? The will to win, the will to fight, and the will to not give up. That's what's in our Australian DNA.
All right, Black Box in Planes. Yes, we did invent that first feature-length film. Actually, that's true. It was Nick Kelly and his gang 1906. Very good.
Yep. Educated audience here.
Mm-hmm.
Keeps us on our toes, guys.
Keeps us on our toes. All right, Dave. So, I just wanted to basically do that. So you can basically have a little chat now because I knew that you'd want to basically have a wrap up and that sort of stuff. So we're at 36.
Yeah,
so I'll give you.
Yeah, we can do that, guys. Look, it's just as I say, the world, right? Like, you know what I do most days, guys. Whether I'm up on the wharf working, or I'm working, or I'm doing something on the boat, there's a space or something going on. I'm getting info from somewhere, right? And I tell you what I'm hearing is that the Americans, especially, and the Canadians, just cannot believe that Albo come out and said that it is a privilege for us to have free speech. That has blown them away, Kaz. They just cannot believe the statement that this clown made, you know what I mean, in public on a newsreel. So the gossips on Australia has hit the headlines, guys. All right. We are out there in the Twitter sphere and we are top shelf. Okay. Everyone is watching what's going to go on with Elon and the Australian government. So again, let's get it out there. Now, I just thought we'd throw government in front of it, hashtag government, we blame you, because we do. All right. So Yep.
No, can we just go back because we've already got it's a cumulative, so we blame you.
Okay, a lot of people are saying they don't know what the we blame you is when I'm talking to them.
All right, well let's go. Government. Hang on, I'll put it in here. Government.
Yeah. It's not too late to change it. We've only been at it for 1 day, so let's just But people are going, we blame you. You know what I mean? So that's the feedback.
Two hashtags. So when we do stuff, we'll do government and then we blame you, basically. So or we blame you and. At Elbow, we blame you at whoever. So that's but we've already accumulated a number of we blame you. So but here's the thing is that they think that they can actually get away with that. And they have obviously forgotten who we are, but we have not forgotten who we are. They use military grade weapons on us in Canberra. And they think that they can sweep it under the carpet and we'll just forget about it. We're not going to forget about that. They use rubber bullets on the cenotaph. Who would actually do that? You had Australians firing on Australians. Disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful.
No, it is. It's ridiculous. But, there we go.
Is that what you want, Kate?
Yeah, something like that. Whatever.
Yeah,
just get it out there. Just keep it uniform, guys, all right? But, I just, a few people are saying, we blame you. And I went, it's the government, you know what I mean? So, anyway, let's just get it out there. Get the shows over to Elon. Let's just keep tagging him, right, and stop the right. All right, because, I'm going to, hashtag Elon Musk with the show, guys, all right, on Twitter. Keep pumping it out there. All right, we've lost the trending. All right, so the trending today, I actually found out how to do it, guys, but then I took a picture of it because I don't know if I know how to get back to it. Anyway. Oh, and I got the wrong picture. Oh, you can't believe it. I'm unreal. Anyway, so, but trending today, actually, and this is terrible, guys. Yeah. It's Anzac Day. Number one was something about some sort of pie, Don's Pies, right, at the football down there in Mexico, right? Number two was a St. George Eastern Suburbs game. Number three was Anzacs. Number four was Lest We Forget. Sad. Now, does that say something about our society? When the two things that are trending are Don's Pies, right, from the AFL, and St. George East. Guys, that's what the top trends were just before we come on the show. You know, ridiculous. Anzac Day and Lest We Forget come in third and fourth. We got a lot to learn in this country. We really got a lot to learn. Not us people here, but the rest of them have. So, anyway, everyone's blown out about this fight, guys. So let's watch it, all right? Because we just showed you, Kaz has just put together and showed you who we are as Australians, all right? And we're nothing to be played with, okay? We've shown that in past history, guys. The world has, bowed their head to us, right? Our forefathers were absolute friggin' legends. Indigenous, non-Indigenous, WOG, Aussie, Irish, English, Native Indian, Tasmanian.
That's another thing too.
New Zealand.
That's another thing. A lot of our enemies migrated to Australia after the war. Now think about this. Think about the magnitude of this. Our enemies, because of the honour that the Australians fought with and how fierce they were after the war, our enemies. That's why we got so many Italians and so many Germans that migrated here because of who we were. So, like, when your enemies think that highly of you, that says something about you, really.
Yeah. So on this Anzac Day, guys, right, we've got this. Okay, we carry it on. We have the spirit, all right? Okay, and we have all these people that have come together here in Australia, all right? And, we've got this, guys, all right? There's a reminder of your past, okay? So don't let your past down. I know you guys aren't going to, all right? But we need the rest of the country standing up the same way, all right? So, get this show out everywhere, guys, right? Get it over to Elon, right? Get it tagged out everywhere. All right, we just need to get people going, guys. All right, and that's it. But we've got it. All right, well, we're hearing on the ground now is people are waking up everywhere, guys. So let's, like I said on a space today, let's really enjoy this part of the war, okay? Because
we'll never have this moment again.
We come on top, guys. All right, we've been on top for a while. They just haven't allowed us for everyone to know that we're on top. All right, but we're well on top. We got this. Thanks to everybody, like I said in a space today. It's all you good people out there why we are copping such a flogging off the New World Order. All right, because worldwide, patriot-wise, and in Australia, we've done a great job. But, guys, the eyes are on you now. Elon's brought us to the forefront, okay, and that's great. The eyes are now on Australia. So what are we going to do about it, guys? Get involved. Start hashtagging your representatives. Start ringing up your talkback radio stations. Right, let's get the vibe out there. All right, that we are not putting up with the New World Agenda orders, and we're not putting up with these clowns. Okay, that are supposed to be
I'm not putting up with it. I am not going to put up with these clowns. It's just ridiculous.
All the clips are on the website from the show tonight, guys. Get over there, get the website out. Stop the Rot, sackthelot.org. Get it everywhere. Get the motion signed. Okay, and have a great Thursday, guys. You deserved it. All right. It's been a great Anzac Day. There's a bit of your heritage, all right, on who you are, all right, and what people think of you. So let's, even if you've already risen to the mark, let's set the bar a bit higher, guys, right? And let's rise again. See you tomorrow night.
Night, guys.
Now, when I was a young man, I carried a pack, lived the free life of a rover. From the Murray's Green Basin to the dusty outback, the Wolf's Mama Tudor rolled over. Then in 1915, the country said, son, it's time to stop roving, there's work to be done. So they gave me a tin hat and they gave me a gun. And they sent me away to the war, and the band played waltzing Matilda when the ship pulled away from the quay. Amidst all the tears and flag-waving cheers, we sailed out to Gallipoli, and the band played waltzing Matilda. We stopped to bury the slain. The Turks buried theirs and we buried ours, and we started